minutes is a short amount of time to tell everybody in here how to go fund your organization, so I'll do it as quickly as I can. What I'd like to start with is, how many in here are actually thinking about starting a company? Okay, so we got 3. How many in here have started a new enterprise? Okay, how many in here are current business owners and you've been in business a year or more? Okay, how many in here are investors to potential investment opportunities? Okay, that gives me a feel. All right, so for all new stuff, a little bit about my background. I'm in my 8th business. I've actually started in 7 other opportunities. I've exited 7 firms. I've never had a bankruptcy, so that's, I've at least learned how to figure out how to start. I've exited many of them early. Left a lot of money on the table, but I got out of them. I was Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year for hyper-growth companies back in '95, so there's recognition when you do a great job. I started the current business that we have right now, Sequence, 8 years ago to help small to middle market businesses, and I define that as a company that is at least 5 years old and proven their business model, okay? And you have what we call EBITDA, net income, and you are looking for growth capital, and you are looking to restructure debt that you got involved in when you got your company up and going. And we do this through what's called a FINRA licensed operation. So we are licensed investment bankers. We just don't do the multi-$100-million deals. We do $2 to $50 million transactions in size. I kind of want to start this off because there's a lot of young people in here with young businesses. I was 19 when I started my very first business, but I don't call it an exit. I started a brass shining, shoe shining business at the Citadel when I was a sophomore because I couldn't get my old man to send me any money, and I was broke, but I was real big, and I ran a protection racket. So if you wanted to haze a freshman, I would go in and politely let you know if you ever haze that freshman again, you and I would see eye to eye, and then I'd go to the freshman and say, I need you to shine 3 pairs of shoes in your brass shoes. And I'd go sell that off to seniors. So that was my first business. One of the things we were talking about a second ago, and he was talking about access to, I see so many different people that are involved in startup organizations. I don't care what anybody says, I don't care what you do, always remember your wealth will come from the number of awkward conversations you're willing to have. You've got to be willing to have really, really, really awkward conversations. And number 2, get to revenue. I don't care what anybody says, I don't care what you are thinking to yourself, because it's a fear. I'm not ready to go sell what I do yet. Go sell it. Go sell it, go sell it. Ask Jerry, he can tell you, you got to go sell it, you got to go get to the market, you got to get your product out there. All right, Sequence helps companies, and I think we're the only one in the Southeast region from a licensing standpoint. Sequence helps companies, like I said, to restructure your debt, to find access to equity capital. So I think you said a little while ago, I call it FF&F, friends, family, and fools normally start up a company, okay? And why is it fools? Because Darren Hardy, who is publisher of Success Magazine, a great friend of mine, will tell you 1 in 10,000 companies today make it to positive net income in 10 years. So it's a long road, I'm telling you. I've had these other companies I've been involved in. I've never in my life had anything like what you have today to help companies get started. Use every resource. Be aggressive, have passion. I call it the 6 P's: planning, patience, passion, persistence, perspiration, and prayer. I've got a niece in New York right now starting a clothing business. She called me the other day. I don't know what I'm doing. Well, you got to have passion. It's got to ooze out of you. You got to want to introduce yourself to people. You got to want to make it happen. You got to have persistence. When the man says no, you go back again. When the man says no, you go back again. You do what you got to do to get in there and get done what you got to get done. If you got to have capital, you start with walking up and saying, I really would like to talk to you about investing in my company. You just got to do it. So you got to do things. If you're going to go get your company up and operating, you got to do things you've never thought you would ever have the courage or the confidence to do. And you got to do it because nobody else is going to do it. So you've got to make it happen. A lot of what we do is help companies with mergers and acquisitions. Way too early for startup companies, but when you get to a point, you will think about, this guy down the street is really bothering me. He is competing with me. I think I'm going to talk to him about merging with him, no cash merger, acquiring another company. There's mergers, there's acquisitions, and then another thing we work with is exit strategies. So we take from helping a company to get going. I help so many companies in the startup phase, but it's very, very difficult. But we like a company, once they've gotten started, once they've proven their business model, we'll help them in any type of financial transaction whatsoever. And then I've just been involved in the Southeast for so many years in the whole startup process. It really doesn't matter what the gamut is, whether it's operations, whether it's finance, from branding. You got to understand your value proposition. What is it you're going to do more of more often than anybody else you compete against for the same dollar? You've got to know that. Then you've got to understand your brand. If you and everybody around you could say just one thing about your company, what would it be? I'm a financial services company. That's what I am. It tells you what I do. I'm in finance. You know, I can expound from there, but that's what we do. I got 45 seconds to go. I can't imagine I'm getting all this out.
You're fine, keep going.
Keep going.
Soft.
That's right.
Somebody mentioned something a little while ago about mentoring. We started in the business school at the Citadel, and I'm on the board there, a mentoring program. God, it's been wonderful. I'm mentoring to 2 MBA students right now. I've got one student that started with me 5 years ago, went to Beijing, went to Dubai, then went to South America, different business each time, and now is in Panama with an import-export business that, Jerry, I need to talk to you about. It's good to see you today. I think that's probably it. I think, you know, it's just, I just wanted to hit pretty hard and quick about my lifetime experiences in real estate, in business, in services, and products, which are the 4 areas I've been involved in. And I'll open the floor now for any questions about any aspect of the entrepreneurial process. How about that?